Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, on this show, on the Ryan Awesome Show, I'll be once again talking about AEW Dynamite, the review for AEW Dynamite for October 21st, 2020. We had a lot that happened on this show last night. We had the AEW Eliminator tournament, which I forgot to mention last week. We had all those stuff. We had Eddie Kingston and John Moxley going back and forth on their video packages. We had the AEW Championship Tournament Eliminator again. We had that Fatal 4-Way tag match. And the number one contenders will go against FTR at Full Gear. We had Ray Phoenix versus Pentagon, which was an awesome match. We had all this stuff going on in the show. We had the late dinner Debonair. That was really entertaining. Like for that, I did not expect what happened in that dinner match. Not dinner match, but the steak dinner. And yeah, all this stuff happened. I'm gonna get to it in a second. But yeah, this was a great show. And so AEW Dynamite, we started off with the AEW Eliminator Tournament match. And the participants were Warlow versus Jungle Boy. And this was a dominating performance for Warlow. Jungle Boy, he looked good in this match too. Fighting back. While Wardlow, he was overpowering him the entire time. And so you start off the match with a collar and elbow, which is probably not the best idea to start off with Jungle Boy, because Wardlow, he will overpower him, and that's exactly what happened. Wardlow, he overpowered Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy at one point he slaps Warlow because he couldn't take him down, and then Jungle Boy, he goes after his leg. He go after Warlow's leg. He kept going out there over and over and over again. Gives Warlow a drop kick. And then he sends Warlow outside the ring. And then Jungle Boy, he goes to the apron. And he tries to give Warlow a Hurricane Rana. And so Warlow, he catches Jungle Boy in a Hurricane Rana. From the Hurricane Rana, he catches him in a powerbomb position. And so you have him in a powerbomb position, and he throws Jungle Boy into the outside ring post. And so that's when Warlow, he started to take control of this match. And so right after, I believe it was right after the commercial break, Warlow, he gives Jungle Boy a superplex. Not a superplex. A suplex throw. He gets Jungle Boy up in a suplex position and just throws him. And then he goes for a gut wrench powerbomb for the 1-2. Jungle Boy kicks out at 2. And so Jungle Boy, he fights back, and he sends Warlow back outside of the ring. And so Warlow, he was turned around, and Jungle Boy, he runs and give a tope suicida to Warlow, and he hits Warlow right in the back. And so he sends Warlow back to the ring, and Jungle Boy, he hits the slingshot DDT to Warlow. And then right after that, Warlow, he kips up, and Jungle Boy, he's at the top rope. And Warlow, he kips up and goes after Jungle Boy. And so, he was at the top rope. He gives Warlow a super Hurricane Rana, followed up by a backstabber. And towards the ending part of the match, we had Jungle Boy going on the top rope again, giving Warlow a knee drop. It was like a diamond double knee drop. He goes on the top rope, jumps for the knee drop, landed right on Warlow for a near fall. And then they go outside the ring again. And Warlow, he gives Jungle Boy a F10. His version of the F5, he gives him the F10 from the outside of the ring and throws him right back in the ring. And then he gets back into the ring and gives Jungle Boy another F10 for the 1-2-3. And Warlow, he advances in the AEW title eliminator match. So yeah, this is a great match. Warlow, dominant performance from Warlow. Jungle Boy looked good too. That fighting back all the time. So yeah, That was the end of the match. And so, yeah, he advances to the next round of the AEW title eliminator match. And then after this, they showed Eddie Kingston's off the air promo to Jon Moxley from last week when he attacked Jon Moxley. They had a promo that he hit after the show was off the air. And so he was, yelling at Moxley the entire time on the microphone while Moxley was laid down on the ground, beaten. And so, yeah, it was an I Quit match. Eddie Kingston was calling Jon Moxley a sellout, for going to WWE. He didn't say WWE. He said the land of entertainers. And so, and then he kept saying, I'm gonna make you quit. I'm gonna make you quit. And he said, when we fought, I never quit. And stuff like that. And so, yeah, that was the end of that. And then right after this, we had a Jon Moxley video package promo. And so he talks about his relationship with Eddie Kingston. They were friends. They go way back. They were friends. When Eddie Kingston signed with AEW, no one was happier than Jon Moxley. He said, I loved Eddie Kingston. He was a friend to me. I loved his loyalty. I loved his honesty. I loved his integrity. Now, I don't even know who this guy is anymore. He's bitter. He's miserable. He's whining, thinks the world owes him something. He thinks I owe him something. And then, he says, Jon Moxley said, I'm not about to apologize for nothing. I'm not about to apologize for my success. I'm not about to apologize for buying my mom a home. I'm not about to apologize for spending thousands of days on the road, getting beat to the ground so that my family could have a better life. He said, I'm not about to apologize for all that stuff. And he said, I will beat you, Eddie Kingston. I will beat you and torture you until I get my friend back. And so, and then after this, he said, when things don't go your way, you ain't gonna have nobody to blame but yourself. And so, yeah, that was the end of that. And they really selling you on this match, this I Quit match. Eddie Kingston, he's not gonna win, but based on everything that's happening right now, they making you believe that he will win. And so, yeah, right after this, we had the AEW Championship Eliminator Tournament again. And it was supposed to be Joey Janella versus Kenny Omega, but they had to take Joey Janela out because he came in contact with somebody that had the virus, COVID-19. And so he was replaced with Sonny Kiss. And so, during Kenny Omega's entrance, we had some ladies in bikinis. They came out and they had brooms. And so that's signifying that his cleaner, Kenny Omega. And so he had this long introduction from the ring announcer, Justin Roberts, about Kenny Omega's accomplishments and stuff like that. He was going on and on and on. It was a long introduction from Kenny Omega. That's a heel move. That is a heel move. But yeah, he comes out, the cleaner is back, and this match wasn't even long. This match wasn't long at all. This match was the perfect time. It was, it ended at the right time. This match did not need to go long, and so it ended really quick. So Kenny Omega, he delivers the V-trigger, the sudden kiss, and he picks him up and hits the one-wing angel for the win, for the 1-2-3, without even breaking a sweat. And so right after he wins, Kenny Omega, he had this blank look on his face. He was looking like this. Like, that's exactly what he was looking like. And so right after this, he helped Sonny Kiss up. Sonny Kiss didn't know what was going on with Kenny Omega. But yeah, this is the perfect way to end the match. We did not want to see this match go any longer. But if Janella was there, the match probably would have went longer if Janella was there. But yeah, this is the perfect time to end the match. And so right after this, we had Tony Schiavone interviewing Orange Cassidy. And so Tony Schiavone, he asked Orange Cassidy about his thoughts last week against Cody for the TNT Championship. His thoughts on his match and what happened after the match. And so Orange Cassidy, he says, sometimes calls don't go your way. He says sometimes calls go your way and sometimes they don't. And so right after this, he asked Tony Schiavone did he asked Orange Cassidy, what's your preparation against Cody? And so Orange says we're on to Cincinnati, and then Tony says, next week is going to be in Jacksonville, and then Orange he says whatever, and that was it. And then right after this, we had another interview. We had Cody and Orange pulling up in a limo. They got out of the limo and they were interviewed by Dasha. And so Dasha, she asked Cody about his thoughts, his thoughts on a rematch with Orange Cassidy for the TNT Championship. And so Cody says, I'm not surprised that AEW wanted a rematch between us two. We're not surprised that AEW wanted a rematch between myself and Cassidy. But, what I am surprised about is how quickly that AEW wanted the match. And so, and then he says there were whispers that there would be a stipulation added to this match. And so, Cody, he was saying, he said he's going to repeat what Arn Anderson said. I have a champion's advantage. Orange, he has to beat me within the time limit. Last week he didn't do it. Last week he didn't beat me through the time limit. And, this week he's not going to even, he's not going to beat me. He's not going to beat me through the time limit. And so, and then she asked him about, him gaining 14 pounds. Him looking jacked now. Looking bigger. And so, Cody, he says that he was going towards the heavyweight division because this is a light heavyweight company. And so he was going after the heavyweight status. And so he was talking about his matches with, he calls himself the Giant Killer. With his matches against Jake Hager, Lance Archer, and Mr. Brody Lee. He calls himself a Giant Killer. And so, he's saying that, he's going to show up next week and he's going to face Orange Cassidy. And he's going to watch everyone vie after the AEW Championship. The most prestigious championship, the AEW Championship. And so, yeah, that was it. And so right after that, we had another video. We had Eddie Kingston video response to Jon Moxley, what he said earlier. And so, Eddie Kingston, he showed up, he was laughing, he was hyping up his boys, the Lucha Bros and the Butcher and the Blade. He was hyping up the Lucha Bros because one of them will be advancing into the championship tournament, either Phoenix or Pentagon. So he was hyping up his guys, when they win, they're going to go after the title. And then he hyped up the Butcher and the Blade about their 4-way title match, #1 contenders match later on tonight. He's saying that the Butcher and the Blade, they're gonna win. They're gonna win, and they're gonna go after FTR for those tag team championships. And then he said, and when that happens, FTR will be going back, and crying to their old boss. Talking about Vince McMahon, begging him to come back. And so, yeah, he says, and then he translates, he goes to Jon Moxley. He says, John, everything you said about me, it was true. Everything you said about me is true. I had to become those things that you said about me. You said I was bitter. You said that I was angry. You said that I was a snake, a liar. I had to become those things. I had to. You said, and he says, I hate what I become. You think I'm proud of what I become? I hate what I become. But I had to become those things because my ends justify my means. He was saying, when I was doing everything the right way, I got nothing. But now I got an AEW championship match against you in an I Quit match. And he says, I never quit at anything. I never quit at nothing in my life. And I'm not going to quit against you. And so he says, you're going to have to go to a deep, dark place. And you know what? I live in that dark place. I live in that place. And so that's what ended the promo. Eddie Kingston is freaking legit. Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, they are legit. And so yeah, right after this, so yeah, this is actually gonna be the main event, and rightfully so. They are selling you with this match. They are giving you a reason to watch this match. They're giving you a reason to order this pay-per-view and watch them. I Quit match between Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston, he's not gonna win. Just like what I said earlier, Eddie Kingston is not gonna win the championship, but he's making you believe that he's gonna win. The way that the story is going, they're making you believe that Eddie Kingston, he will win, because the way that he come off, the dude is freaking legit. Jon Moxley too. They both legit. They are great promos. Great promos. They like both of them, they are great at what they do. And so right after this, we had another AEW World Title Eliminator match between Rey Fenix and Pentagon. So yeah, this is a great match. This is nothing more than back and forth. They were reversing each other's moves. You had Eddie Kingston on commentary, hyping up both of them. And so we start out the match. They shake hands. They went. They were giving each other arm drags to Pentagon, arm drags to Phoenix. It was counter after counter, and then at one point they had a chop off. They were chopping each other. Pentagon, he takes off his glove and chops Phoenix. Super kick to Phoenix in midair. So Phoenix, he jumps from the top rope, and Pentagon gives him a super kick in midair. And then Phoenix, he sends Pentagon out of the ring, and then he goes on the top rope again, Phoenix. And he spins, like he jumps off the rope. He jumps off the top rope and he spins. He does like a 360 rotation and landed right on Pentagon outside of the ring. And so right after that, we had Phoenix going for his running rope kick. What he usually does, he goes and runs the top rope and kicks his opponents in his face. He tried to do that to Pentagon. Pentagon knocked him right off the rope. He trips him up. That dude took a nasty fall. And so we had Pentagon give a sling blade to Phoenix from the middle rope. I seen a sling blade, but a sling blade from the middle of the rope. That's what he did. And then another point, we had a head scissors. Phoenix gives a head scissors from the middle rope to Pentagon. And then we had Phoenix give a super kick to Pentagon for the near fall. Spanish fly to Pentagon for the near fall. The way that he transitioned that Spanish fly, he jumped and it gave the Spanish fly. Pop up power bomb to Phoenix. That was a high pop up power bomb. He lifted this dude so high for that pop up power bomb. I thought that was it right there. And so Pentagon, he goes for the arm snap. The arm stomp, I believe it's called. The arm stomp to Phoenix, trying to break his arm. And so, in the end of the match, we're going to skip to the end of the match. And so, the end of the match, we had a Canadian destroyer to Pentagon for the 1-2-3. And Rey Fenix, he wins this match, and he advances to the next round, and he will be facing Kenny Omega next week. Rey Fenix versus Kenny Omega would be a great match, a classic match. I don't even think they ever fought before. I don't even know. From what I know, I don't think they fought before. Maybe in a tag team match, but one-on-one, I don't think they did. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. And then right after that, we had the Best Friends, their video package with Miro and Kip Sabian. Everything that happened last week. About Trent breaking the arcade machine accidentally. Best Friends, they were talking. They were saying, we know a lot about having things destroyed. For instance, my mom's van was destroyed, and that my mom's van was purposely destroyed. But what we did to your stuff, he pointed to Trent. What he did was an accident, and so that was it. And we might have a potential match with these two teams. Should be good. And then right after that, we had Alex Marvez interviewing the Dark Order, Colt Cabana, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, and they were all hyping each other up. Colt Cabana saying that he was going to win the AEW Championship Tournament Eliminator. No, he's not. And you had John Silver and Alex Reynolds. They were hyping each other up as well, saying that they were going to win this fatal this four-way tag team #1 contenders match. And then you had John Silver. He talks about Mr. Brody Lee. He says Mr. Brody Lee is gonna go after the TNT Championship. Whoever walks out the winner, Mr. Brody Lee is next. And so yeah, they were hyping each other up the entire time. John Silver hyping up Mr. Brody Lee, saying, let's give it up for Brody, getting the Brody chants and stuff. And he was flexing, and that was it. That's what ended. That's what ended this segment. And then we had another AEW title eliminator match. It was Colt Cabana with Evil Uno. Colt Cabana with Evil Uno versus Hangman Adam Page. And this match started off hold from hold. They were countering each other too. We had a big boot to Cabana, followed up by a standing moonsault. Kicks out at 2. We had a fallaway slam to Colt Cabana. Boom, boom, Colt Cabana. We had an elbow strike from Colt Cabana to Adam Hangman Page, followed up by head scissors. And they were striking each other, going strike for strike. We had a German suplex into a bridge to Cabana. Cabana kicks out at 2. Page knocks Cabana out of the ring with his spinning elbow. And Page, he goes for his outside. This is what had Colt Cabana take control of this match. So Page, he goes from his top rope. He goes to the top rope and delivers his moonsault, what he usually does, but he didn't deliver it. He goes to the top rope. Colt Cabana pushes him off the top rope, and he landed right on the apron. He took a senton to the apron, and so that was a nasty fall. That was a really nasty fall. And then right after that, you had Colt Cabana going to Page and delivering a splash. He hit a splash to Adam Hangman Page to the outside of the ring. And so you had Colt Cabana hit his Chicago skyline to Adam Hangman Page and knock Adam Hangman Page outside of the ring. And then Page, he goes for his buckshot lariat. He misses. And then Colt goes for his I don't know what he calls it. I think he's called it his Superman pin, when he has his opponent in a deep roll. And so Page, he kicks out. And in the end of this match, we had Adam Hangman Page faking the buckshot lariat, and then he delivers the buckshot lariat to Colt Cabana for the 1, 2, 3, and Adam Hangman Page wins, and he advances to the next round of the AEW title tournament, and he will be facing Warlow. So yeah, this was a great match too. Nobody thought Colt Cabana was gonna win, and so yeah, the right man won. Adam Hangman Page wins, and then right after the match, we had the Dark Order. They helped Colt Cabana to the back, and so right after that, we had Team Taz, and we had Team Taz with Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. And so Taz, he gets the microphone. He was talking about Will Hobbs, saying that we gave you an opportunity of a lifetime to join Team Taz, and we still haven't heard back from you yet. If you don't make your decision now, I'm gonna send Brian Cage after you. And then he talks about Darby Allen, talking about he doesn't deserve a TNT Championship match. Taz, he was talking about his interaction with Tony Khan, and Tony Khan telling him, if Ricky Starks would have beaten Darby Allen weeks ago, it'll be Ricky Starks challenging for the TNT Championship at Full Gear. And so Taz, he was like, Taz was upset that, Ricky Starks, he's not going to Full Gear. He's not going to Full Gear. He's not fighting for the TNT Championship. And so he says, so you mean to tell me that Ricky Starks is not going to TNT? He's not going after the TNT Championship? You talking about the Ricky Starks that, won 9 of his last 10 matches. You talking about the Ricky Starks who fell victim to this fugazi finish. That's what he said. With a match against Darby Allen, you mean to tell me that Ricky Starks doesn't deserve an opportunity for the TNT Championship? And so, yeah, Team Taz, they were saying, Ricky Starks deserves this. Brian Cage deserves an opportunity. We deserve an opportunity at Gold. And so, yeah, Ricky Starks, he takes the microphone, he talks, he says, I know what I'm worth. Every day I show up and I show out, and he talks about Darby Allen. He's gonna go after Darby Allen. He said, the next time we meet, I put this on everything I love. The next time we meet, next time we meet, I'm gonna put you through the grave. I'm gonna put you in the grave. And he says, you half-faced, painted little bitch. That's what he said. And so right after that, so yeah, Darby Allen so far is going for the TNT Championship at Full Gear, and whoever wins between Cody and Orange, it's gonna be Cody. Actually, it's gonna be Cody, but it's gonna be Cody versus Darby. Ricky Starks might get involved at Full Gear. That's all I'm saying. He might get involved. And then we had Eliminator Debonair, which was the best part of the show. We had MJF and Chris Jericho going to a restaurant. They were dressed up nicely in their suits. Not Jericho. MJF had his scarf. Jericho had like a purple, not a purple, but like a wine red suit or something like that he had. And this entire time they were ordering. You had the waitress there taking their orders, and MJF, he ordered a steak with a potato. Well done. Chris Jericho had the same thing, but his steak was medium well. And so the entire time they were upstaging each other's order and stuff. And so, they were talking, upstaging each other, and it was like, man, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? We should be working together. And so, right after they got finished talking about that, the segment turned into a musical. Like a musical. And they were singing, they were dancing. They danced with 2 women. They had 2 women. They were dancing with 2 women, and then they ended up dropping the 2 women on the ground. So yeah, that was really funny. And so yeah, they got back right after they got finished singing and stuff. Like they went back to their food. Their food was there. The food looked disgusting. The food was nasty. The steak looked like it wasn't even cooked. And so yeah, the steak wasn't even well done. It wasn't. And so yeah, that was the end of that. And so yeah, this is the best part of the show. I loved it. I like it was unexpected. I did not expect a musical. I was expecting a steak contest, like who could eat the steak the fastest or something like that, or that's what I thought it was gonna be. But it turned into a musical, man. Like I did not expect it to end that way. So yeah, that was funny. And then we had next week. Next week it will be a town hall meeting with the Inner Circle to see if MJF would join the Inner Circle. And so that's next week. And then right after that, we went to the women's match. We had Britt Baker with Reba versus Kylan King. And so yeah, this is a good match. This is a good match. This is better than the AEW Women's Championship match. But yeah, this is Britt Baker. She's getting really better in the ring. She's looking good right now. And so we started off the match with a headlock to a wrist lock. So Britt Baker, she had Kylan King in a headlock, and then Kylan King turned it into a wrist lock. And then we had a lockjaw attempt from Britt Baker, and then Kylan King turned it into a roll up for a near fall. Britt Baker kicks out. Britt Baker goes for a curb stomp. She hits a curb stomp to Kylan King, and then she hits a flatliner into the turnbuckle to Kylan King. And then Kylan King, she fights back. She gives a roundhouse kick to Britt Baker, and then Britt Baker, she reverses everything. She fights back too. She hits her fisherman's neck breaker to Kylan King, And then right after she delivered that, she got she hit the lockjaw with the glove. So Reba handed her her surgical glove to deliver the lockjaw, and Kyla King taps out, and Britt Baker wins. So yeah, this was an okay match. This was a great match. Not a great match. It was a good match for what it was. So yeah, right after that we had Darby Allen. We had Darby Allen with Steve O from Jackass, and so Darby Allen, he was in a body bag. He was he went on top of a skateboard ramp, a skateball ramp, and he skateball ramp. He went on top of the skate ramp and put himself in a body bag, and he rose from the top of the ramp, and he lands on the ground. He puts himself in a body bag and he rolls off the ramp into the bottom of the ramp for his preparation to the TNT Championship. And so that's basically what he did. And so Darby, he was like, I'm gonna win a TNT Championship. Man, this dude is freaking crazy. Darby Allen is crazy, man. This dude is a freaking daredevil. This dude will put his body through anything, to get ahead. But yeah, that's what we like about Darby Allen. This dude takes risk. And then right after that, we had the Fatal 4-Way. We had the 4-Way tag team match for the number 1 contenders match for FTR. This match, this match I could not take notes. I couldn't take notes because everybody was running around. There was diving and all that stuff. And so at point in these tag team matches, man, I do not know who the legal person is. I don't. And you add 4 teams to that, it's gonna make it extra difficult to know who's the legal person. And so yeah, we started off. Oh yeah, the Bunny is back with the Butcher and the Blade, and they told us the explanation on why she's with the Butcher and the Blade, why she's back with the Butcher and the Blade. And so they showed a clip from AEW Dark showing Eddie Kingston bringing back the Money, and she turned on the Nightmare Family. And so we had the Butcher and the Blade versus Private Party versus the Dark Order versus the Young Bucks. Oh yeah, Matt Hardy was with Private Party, and we had FTR on commentary. And so I'm gonna just skip ahead to the middle. Well, the start of the match, we had a jumping arm stomp to John Silver from the Bucks. We had Private Party giving the Bucks super kicks, from last week. From that, payback. Because the Bucks gave the Private Party a super kick, and the Private Party, they returned the favor and gave them a super kick. And so we had a diving senton bomb to Reynolds outside the ring from Mark Quinn. And then we had, during commercial, we had Sammy Guevara coming out of nowhere and attacking Matt Hardy. And, they were fighting, Matt Hardy fighting back. And so they took each other out. And so they went into the back and fought. And so Matt Hardy is away from ringside. And so we had John Silver taking out everybody. We had John Silver taking out Mark Quinn. We had John Silver taking out the Blade with a senton bomb outside the ring. And then we had him taking out the Butcher with a European uppercut. He was running around, gave the Blade a senton bomb, and then got up, ran to the Butcher, gave him a European uppercut, gave a punt kick to Nick Jackson, and then he gives a crossbody to Isaiah Cassidy and Matt Jackson into the crowd. So yeah, I thought that was cool. And then Silver and Reynolds, they hit their combo move. Reynolds, he hits a stunner, follow up by a German suplex from John Silver into a bridge, and Quinn kicks out at 2. And then we had the Indie Taker. We had the Meltzer driver from the Bucks to the Butcher and Isaiah Cassidy. It was a combination move. It was the Meltzer driver into a senton bomb. And so we had Butcher take the senton, and we had Isaiah Cassidy take the Meltzer driver. And so yeah, that was a pretty cool spot. I loved it. And then the end of the match, we had a Meltzer driver attempt. We had a Meltzer driver attempt from the Bucks into a cover. You know, the same way how they lost the last time they fought. It was a tournament match. And so, you know, it was Mark Quinn who stopped Nick Jackson from giving the Indy Taker or the Meltzer driver. So he knocks him off the apron. Isaiah Cassidy goes for a roll up on Matt Jackson because that's how they beat them. That's how they beat them the first time they met. And so Matt Jackson, he turns it around into a roll up. And so he pins Isaiah Cassidy for the 1-2-3. And the Bucks win. And we have finally, years in the making, we have the Young Bucks versus FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championships at Full Gear. So yeah, the moment that we all been waiting for, the match is finally happening on a big stage at Full Gear. And so right after the match, we had FTR. They were on commentary. They got away from commentary and they got into the ring. You know, they were congratulating the Bucks for the hard-fought win. And so, you know, they had FTR. They had beers in their hand, and they were offering the Bucks beers. And so, the Bucks they smacked the beers out of their hands. You know, you had the beer spilling everywhere, all over the camera, all over the ring, and then you had this one person in a mask came out into the middle of the ring and hits the Bucks with a steel chair. And then you had the commentary team there was like, you know, who is this? Who is this under this mask? And we all knew it was Tully Blanchard. Like, dude, it's Tully Blanchard. Like, we know how he moves. We know what he looks like. It was Tully Blanchard. And so, and then they go for a triple. It was Tully Blanchard and the FTR guys. They gave Nick Jackson the Spike Power Driver. And so, to Nick Jackson. And then FTR, they put Matt Jackson's leg into a chair. It was tied up to his ankle. They put it onto his ankle. And then they got one of the FTR guys, they got to the top rope. They went to the top rope and they went for a stomp. They stomped on the chair and it shattered Matt Jackson's ankle. And so, yeah. That was the end of the match. I mean, not the end. That was the end of the match, and that was the end of the show. You know, the Bucks wins. The Bucks wins that 4-way match, and they were attacked after the match. And so, yeah, that was the end of AEW Dynamite. And man, I'm telling you, man, AEW continues to deliver and deliver every single week. They're not perfect. They have its flaws, you know, but they continue to get better and better every single week. You know, they give you a reason on why you should come back and watch the show next week. And so, you know, Full Gear looking good too, man. All these matches. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention, Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy, they have their match too. At Full Gear, I believe it is, called the Elite Deletion. So yeah, that should be good too. But yeah, that was the end of it, man. This was a great show. Very, very, very great show. And so yeah, that was it. But anyway, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. What are you waiting for? Hit the thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Hit that subscribe button. And you'll get more notifications on when I'll come out with new videos. Now, the next video I was supposed to do the Pro Wrestling Crate unboxing, but my Pro Wrestling Crate is not here yet. And so when it comes, I will make another video, and it's going to be the Pro Wrestling Crate October 2020 unboxing. And Hell in a Cell is this Sunday. I might do a review on Hell in a Cell. NXT, I'm going to have to debate on whether I should do NXT or not. Maybe, but you'll know. But anyway, that's it with everything. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show, ladies and gentlemen. And that's that.